Euphonix. We all know them for their big consoles, we know them for their door controllers, but now they have a small door controller which I think is going to appeal to a much wider marketplace. Daniel's going to talk us through it.
Hello, I'm Daniel, and we're here at NAMM 2008, where we're doing our product launch of the MC Artist series from Euphonix. This is our first unit, which is the MC Control. This will ship in March. This over here is our MC Mix, and this will ship this month in January, actually. On any system, you can have one of these and up to 4 of these at the same time, and everything connects by Ethernet on a router, as well as your workstation, in which case you can actually have more than one workstation. And by switching through the workstations directly from the Surface, you can actually have your mouse and your keyboard forwarded to the other workstation. The MC Mix will ship for $6.99, and this will go for $9.99. So let's have a look at the software that we use. We install what we call EU Control on your computer. Any computer running our MC Client software will show up on the network. And you can see under Workstations here, I've got my Apple computer attached. You can also see all the surfaces on the same network that are attached, and it's very, very easy to attach them. All you do is drag and drop. Okay, let's jump back over to Logic. Logic is one of the many applications that has implemented our Yukon adapter. Nuendo was one. Cubase has adapted this, as well as Cakewalk and various others. So here's an example of how we can switch between applications on the same workstation. So here's Cubase, and as you can see, as soon as I attach to Cubase, it completely populates the entire surface. We can also switch back over to, say, Soundtrack Pro. There we go. And even Apogee's Maestro software, so for those of you who are looking for a monitor solution for input monitoring, there you go. And let's just jump back over to Logic. Okay, let's dig deeper into the Surface and see what it can do. A quick overview of the MC Control. What we have is 4 faders. We've got 8 touch-sensitive knobs that also double up as buttons. Okay, so in this case, what I've done is I've entered into my insert knob set. We can also jump into our EQ knob set, and from here we can actually control gain and our frequency. And one of the cool things that we do is we actually allow you to control Q and so on from the same knob as the frequency. Additionally, you get an entire layout of all your tracks, which are completely touch sensitive, so you can select, you can solo, you can mute, and you can even record arm directly from the touchscreen surface. In addition, we've got these 12 knobs underneath, which gives you access to transport controls, selecting your different tools, or whatever other functions you may want to use for that particular application. On the control surface, you also get a jog wheel, which can shuttle, or can be used to zoom, or various other features, depending on how deeply they've implemented their Yukon adapter. Transport controls all behave as you would expect, but what if you don't have the control surface? What if you only got a mix? Well, the mix is actually a pretty complete solution, and it runs all by itself. From here, by holding down my Shift key, I actually get access to a whole bunch of other additional commands that you wouldn't normally expect. So here I've got transport. And let's just go ahead and hit stop again. Okay. Additionally, you get your full-size, fully professional, high-quality Euphonix faders. Everything is touch-sensitive and motorized, so if we grab a fader from the DAW, you can see that it follows and tracks my DAW. All my knobs are touch sensitive, and they double up again as buttons. And over here we've got what we call knob sets. Knob sets gives me access to panning, my auxiliary sends, my EQ, my inserts, and so on. So let's go in and see how we can add an insert. All I do is select my inserts, and whichever channel I've selected on, I get to see which inserts are inserted on that channel. Here's how easy it is. I hit my 2 buttons here to put me into config mode, and I choose which insert I want to put it on. So let's do it on number 2. This is kind of like a menu system, kind of like from your mouse. And I'm going to go, I don't like these. I want a third-party plugin. So I'm going to scroll over here until I get to audio units. And one of my favorites is Camel Fat from Camel Audio. And I'm going to insert a stereo Camel Fat and exit that mode. And now you can see on the surface that it's already inserted. To open the plugin, you simply press the button. Now you can see across my LCD displays here, my OLED displays, that we've got complete control over all the parameters from that plugin. And we've never seen this plugin. Additionally, if you don't like having your controls on the knobs and you want to put them on the fader, we can flip our parameters. And now here's my filter cutoff frequency. let's jump back out to pan. One of the really, really cool things about the Euphonix control surface is the way we deal with layouts and direct assignments. By holding down the Shift key and hitting any one of the Euphonix wave logos, it enters me into our software. And from here, as you can see, I've created some direct assignments. I'd like to put my master fader on the surface on fader number 8. So now what we've got now is I've assigned my output fader over here on the end. So this is always my master fader. So even when I bank through my various tracks, I've always got access to my main volume. We can also create an attention fader. An attention fader is a fader that dynamically updates to show whatever fader I have selected in my DAW system. I can either do that from the touchscreen, or we can do it by selecting a track from the surface. So for example, now I'm controlling my snare. If I select another track, say my kick drum, now this is my kick drum. Or it could be my synth. This, of course, can all be saved as a layout in our software. Every application stores all the layouts in every project. You can have up to 48 completely user-defined layouts. So you may be wondering which applications work with the Yukon Surface. Well, anyone that has a native control being Yukon would be Nuendo, Steinberg, Logic, as you can see here, as well as Cakewalk Sonar, and also Motu has just jumped on to develop their adapter. But some applications don't have the Yukon adapters, so they can actually use what we call a subset, which would be something like Mackie control or Huey control. So any application that already accepts Mackie or Huey control, we can actually connect and work with. Okay, so our MC control unit will ship later. This will ship in March. Our MC mix units are shipping this month in later January. Anyone from a small home studio that may just need a couple of faders to work along with their MacBook, for example, would be able to use this, or anyone from up to a large-scale facility that needs up to 36 faders can actually apply this to their system and make it a very, very powerful working tool.